Alright, let's do the DLC that I missed for Okita. There he is. Where does this take place? 1868 February. Alright, so we should be in the hiding place? Hold on. There we go. Even after having lived in Edo for most of my life, returning after a 4-year absence left me feeling like a stranger in my own hometown. Huh? I awoke in a stupor, finding myself bundled warmly in a blanket with a familiar scent. Is this Okita's blanket? Why is this here? My eyes took their time adjusting to their surroundings as I emerged from my haze. That's right. I fell asleep in Okita's room. Okita? My back shot straight up and I filtered my eyes around the room, but he was nowhere to be found. As I raced out of his bedroom, I did so in a panic. Okita! Are you in here? Silence and the tatami creaked underneath my feet as I stepped cautiously through the hallway. I was perplexed, wondering how he'd mustered enough strength to leave his bedroom. Only then did I put together the pieces. He had been telling me how hell-bent he was on visiting Kondo-san. I broke into a sprint as I slid the front door open. I finally found him out in the front yard. Okita!
あれどうしたの千鶴ちゃん血相変えちゃって
There you are. Well, I was panicking because I didn't find you in your bedroom, so I came out looking for you.
ずっと部屋の中に閉じこもりきりだとさすがに息が詰まっちゃうから
Jeez, excuse me for being worried. If you needed some fresh air, you could have told me.
一応声はかけたんだけどね君ぐっすり寝ちゃってて何度起こしても全然目を覚ましてくれなかったから
What? Really? I'm so sorry.
別にいいけど僕の布団はそんなに寝心地が良かったそれとも僕のぬくもりかな
Please don't mock me.
からかってるつもりはないんだけど寝心地が良かったかどうかを聞いてるだけじゃない
I just had a lot on my mind recently. Sleeping has been a little difficult. Okita batted his eyelashes in response to my explanation, as if he were dissatisfied with how candidly I had answered.
なんだつまんないのそんなそっけない答え方されちゃ僕だって何もできないじゃない
Nothing to work with? What were you expecting, hmm?
だって今の言い方だと僕のことを何とも思ってないみたいだしこうやってそばにいてくれたり姿が見えなくなると血相変えて探しに来てくれるのは僕に同情してるだけなんて言われると結構傷つくんだけど
Oh. He had a point. I'd been so wrapped up in my own feelings that I had considered that maybe Okita needed someone to help ease his suffering. Between being separated from the Shinsengumi and being unable to see or speak with Kondo-san, the only person Okita had was me, and I was doing little to let him forget that fact. Forgive me, Okita. I hadn't realized.
別に謝る必要なんてないよ僕のこと好きなふりをしろなんて強制できないしね君は僕がかわいそうだからそばにいてくれるだけなんでしょそれぐらいよくわかってるから
No, not at all. I'd never be here just out of pit. I stopped myself, feeling constricted by the force of Okita's paralytic glare.
じゃあどうして
Well, although expressing my true feelings would no doubt elicit a smug reaction from Okita, I knew that telling him so far outweighed my feelings of sheepishness that came next. It's because I like you. I said so resolutely, looking him deep in the eye.
そうなんだ。まあ、うすうすそうなんじゃないかとは思ってたけどね。
Eventually, the man says. It was just as I had expected. No, it was even worse. Okita wore an expression befitting a warlord at the end of a fruitful conquest, not in the emission of feelings.
ちゃんと言えたご褒美に手をつないであげようか。
That's all right.
あれ？いらないの？僕のことが好きだって言ったくせに。
It was clear that refusing Okita only stoked his fire, and in fear of seeing him pout again, I decided to oblige him. Yet, there was an irresistible charm to him. Sure. Thanks, Okita. It may have irked me initially, but seeing his smile made everything worth it. Alright, who gave Okita the cute one? The cute scenario. Where's Okita? There he is. Low romance. Let's go. This isn't what Kondo-san would want. I was certain Okita had gone out into the streets to find the person who shot Kondo-san. I understood how he felt, but if you keep this up, you're going to break Kondo-san's heart. If Kondo-san wakes up, what would he feel if he finds out that you've broken the code? His brow silently furrowed. Okita had known Kondo-san so well. I was sure that he would know exactly what I was talking about. So please, let's just go back, okay? Even if you can find the person who shot Kondo-san, killing them won't make Kondo-san better.
確かに君の言う通りかもしれないね。でもだったら僕は他に何ができるのかな。土方さんや源さんみたいに幕府の偉い人とのやり取りができるわけじゃない。だからって新八さんや佐野さん、平助みたいに近藤さんと付き合うことだってできない。だからこそ羅刹になったのに、僕はまた役立たずだ。
He was furious now. I didn't dare speak to him. But as I watched, I realized the anger was a mask. Beneath it was an anxious, frightened child who feared he'd lost his way. Something I said had touched a place in Okita that he didn't want anyone else to see. I'd hurt his feelings. Just as the silence began to stretch to uncomfortable levels, I heard a voice.
おい、そこにいるのって掃除だ。
We could skip. Uh-oh. Well, it's because there's no point in stopping you. I didn't think there was any point in stopping you.
答えになってないんじゃない？無駄だと思うなら放っておけばいいのに。
If I could, I wouldn't have followed you like this.
あ、そう。好きにすればどうせ言っても聞かないんだろうし。
My breaths were quick and staggered as we ran through the chilly Kyoto evening. Damn it, I'm doing it again. I'm losing it. It seemed as though many civilians had been frightened from the sounds of battle. So many homes were shut and locked. There were no signs of people anywhere.
あの人影はまさか。
Okita picked up something in his periphery, and he disappeared into the alleyway. I rushed to follow him.
久しぶりって言っていいのかな。近藤さんを撃ったのは君？
Okay, we can skip this. Good. Alright, where's the change? Where's the change? Uh-oh. Oh. Something hot pierced through my chest. I heard Okita's voice echo from a small distance away, but for some reason, I couldn't put any strength in my body, and I collapsed to the ground. What had just happened to me?
だから僕なんかについてこなければよかったのに。君のためにしてあげられることなんて何一つないと思ってたけど、たった一つあるってことに気づいたよ。君の仇を取ってあげること。あの世で待っててね。僕が死んだ後行くのは多分地獄だろうから、また会うことはないだろうけどさ。
Just when I heard that, I heard a horrendous shriek ring from one ear to the other. Then Kaoru groaned from Okita's wound. Such was the last sound I'd heard before my consciousness faded away into a flash of white. Well, time for the unrequited love bit. Let's see how this one ends, because I'm curious. This isn't what Kondo-san want. I'm worried about you, Okita. Alright, where do we end up? How does this all go down now?
何をぼさっとしてるのさ。さっさと避けなよ。
Okita pushed me and I fell to the ground. Right after. Okita!
平気だよ、こんなの。羅刹はすぐに傷が癒えるんだから。
Okita winced as he finished his sentence, trying to feign toughness, but
あれ
the wounds covering his body didn't seal up as immediately as I had so desperately hoped.
当てが外れたみたいだな。起きた。お前に落ち水を飲ませたのが誰なのか忘れたのか。対策ぐらい考えてあるに決まってるじゃないか。
Kaoru was barking proudly, turning around to face his men who held their guns at the ready.
どうやら起きたわ。俺の可愛い妹より先に死なせてほしいみたいだよ。遠慮なく願いを叶えてやってくれるかな。
With Kaoru's word, the men pointed their guns towards Okita. But
そうは行くか。
Okita kicked the floor, propelling him forward. In what seemed like a blink of an eye, he was slashing the soldiers with savage cruelty. Others who were not yet killed were cowering at his display, but they readied their guns, pointing it to Okita, and they all shot at once. A small scatter of bullets hit Okita, but he didn't flinch at all, and he returned to face them wearing the eyes of a hunter, and he slayed them all. An eerie silence followed afterwards.
さて、残りは君だけだね。覚悟はいい。
Okita was drenched with a mixture of his blood and the blood of those freshly killed. Despite being covered in a morbid amount of gore, he stood up straight, fierce as a hawk. It was hard to believe he wasn't a god.
体に何発も銃弾を受けてるのに俺に勝てると思ってるのか。こう見えても雪村本家の男鬼なんだけどな、俺は。
そんなのどうでもいいよ。君がつまらないことを吹き込んだせいで近藤さんが怪我をさせられたんだから、何があってもどんなことがあっても君を殺してあげる。
できるものならやってもらおうじゃないか。
Kaoru grinned maliciously as he unsheathed his katana, and then Okita rushed for Kaoru in a hot-headed outburst. It was as if a demon had possessed him. As I was watching from the side, I found it hard to move a muscle. Eventually, Okita had his sword smacked from his hands.
だから無理だって言っただろ。いくらなんでも俺を見くびりすぎだよ。
Okita gritted his teeth. Then from afar there was a sound of whistles.
やれやれ、面倒な連中が駆けつけてきたみたいだな。勝負はお預けってことにしようか。次はもう少しマシな戦いができるといいけど。
待て！
Okita attempted to run after Kaoru, but the latter had already dissolved into the darkness without a trace. As the adrenaline from his fight seemed to wane, Okita fell to the floor on his knees. Okita, take my arm. Let's go back to the magistrate. I picked up Okita's sword, which had been lying on the ground, and I handed it back to him. Then,
余計なことしないでくれるかな。
he angrily yanked the sword from my hands. Then he pointed the sword, which was coated in a thick, wet layer of blood, towards me. Okita?
君が余計な邪魔をしなければさっきあんな風に撃たれることもなくて近藤さんの仇を取ることができたのによくも邪魔してくれたね。
I was shivering from fear as Okita seethed bitterly at me. He was right. Had I not been there, Okita could have potentially killed Kaoru.
明日からは僕の前に顔を見せないで。土方さんやはじめくんたちと同じように昼間起きて夜は寝てればいい。
Oh shit. But
邪魔なんだよ。これから殺すやつと同じ顔をした人間が目の前にいるなんて。もし今後僕に近づいたら殺すから。これは冗談でも脅しでもないよ。土方さんや他のみんなが何を言ったとしても関係ない。本当に切るからね。
now that I knew the kind of person that Okita was, I knew just how serious his words were as he made this promise to me. Okita turned to walk away, keeping his bloody drenched blade in hand. He walked unsteadily and disappeared into the night. Kaoru, just moments before, had disappeared.
本当はもっと早く伝えておくべきだったんだけどね。どうしてこんなに先延ばしにしちゃったんだろう。
His voice was so low that it felt like as if the wind had carried his words into my ear. My spirits felt shattered. I crumbled to the floor. I couldn't even bring myself to run after him as he drifted further and further from me. For Okita, his top priority was to avenge Kondo-san. This made me nothing more but a burden to him. It was painful to acknowledge, but I felt it. Okita, if you eventually fulfill your wish, would that bring you true happiness at the end of it all? Well, I guess that is a way to end it. Alright, let's go. Chapter 1. Low romance and high corruption is your recipe. Well, it's my duty to watch after you. Well, it's my duty to watch after you. I want to make sure you're being cared for.
真面目なんだね。ま、それならそれでいいけど。
Thank God I was also recording at the same time, or else this would be all for nothing. Well, we make him endure it. Unfortunately, we have to do that to Soji. But we did it with everybody else, so... Oops. Actually. Ooh. Wait. I can screen cap shit! Anyway. It was hard to watch him suffer, but... You're really going to be okay? I was worried.
平気だよ、こんなの。剣術の荒稽古に比べればどうってことない。
Okita. For now, though, all I could do was hope. I stroked his back, desperately wishing that he would feel better. But... Okita! He didn't hear me, though. The pain had grown so intense that he had simply passed out. Whoa! Okita! Hang in there! Okita! Okita did actually regain consciousness the following day, but... I wondered if I did the right thing by letting him just suffer like that. Was there anything else I could have done for him? These thoughts consumed me all day, and it was nearly impossible to get over them. Damn it. How should I answer? I can barely recognize you. I almost barely recognized you.
別人って着てるものが変わったぐらいでそれはないでしょ。
Huh. Sorry. I didn't mean anything by it.
まあ別にいいけど、君って余計なことに気を回す割には肝心なところが鈍いよね。
Now that I think about it, you removed your top knot.
他人の心配をしてる暇なんてあるの？君、今絶対絶命なんだけど。
えらく自信過剰だな。こう見えても俺は雪村本家の男になんだよ。
Suddenly, Okita kicked the ground angrily, charging for Kaoru with the intent to kill him. A metallic howl echoed in the mountain pass behind me as their blades clashed against one another. Okita was regarded as the most talented swordsman in the Shinsengumi. However, Kaoru seemed to have no trouble avoiding Okita's flailing strikes, dodging each one effortlessly. Before long, Okita had enough.
なかなかやるじゃない。でもね、僕が羅刹になってるってこと忘れちゃってるんじゃないかな。
The color of Okita's hair began to leave it, and his irises became a hue of crimson. Compared to earlier, Okita moved purposefully and fluidly, adding an elegant flair to his technique that pushed counter to it with his back against the wall. A series of well-aimed strokes landed on Counter's abdomen, and blood flowed freely from the freshly split flesh wounds. Okita grimaced as the blood splashed in droplets on his porcelain face. Okita!
来るな。
He barked at me intensely, stopping me in my tracks.
大丈夫。僕は平気だから。
His irises flickered a shade of red, as if he were caught in a limbo between sanity and insanity. Oh no.
なんだ、せっかく俺が教えてあげたっていうのに血を飲ませなかったんだ。俺の妹は意外と薄情なんだね。かわいそうな起きた。
I was overcome with guilt. Okita's body was convulsing before my eyes, and I could only watch him helplessly. Then, his eyes glowed red, and behind them contained a madness impatiently waiting to burst. Okita! As I called out to him, I saw his eyes waver ever so slightly, as if he were fighting to retain his humanity. But it was too late. Something cold pierced through my chest. I peeked down slowly, watching the blade twist through my beating heart. I caught a glimpse of Okita's eyes once more, watching what remained of Okita be consumed by the madness. I was realizing that the man I once knew was now a shadow of his former self.
やれやれ、お前たちにはもっともっと苦しんでほしかったのにな。こんなに早く終わるなんて残念だよ。お前が兄さんの忠告を無視するから。
Did I make a mistake? Okita. I mustered what little strength remained in me to force myself to saying Okita's name once more. He then turned to look at me, giving the faintest shape of a smile, and he raised his sword once more. Then my consciousness ceased. All right.